Before I started this video, I told myself I need to do my eyebrows because it definitely helps me feel a lot more confident. This topic was inspired by my lovely boyfriend who asked me the other week, how are you so confident? How do you maintain your confidence? I thought it'd be really fun to just share the top 5 contenders on how I try to feel confident within myself. This is a non-exhaustive list, but these are just my top 5. So if any of them resonate with you, please share below. And if you have tried any of these tips, let me know how that has gone. And if there are other tips or advice you've either read online or heard from someone, or one that you've just gained on your own, please share them. We're all looking for advice on how to feel confident and how to feel our best selves at the end of the day. I'm going to say too that confidence is something that we're always going to have to work on and just work towards throughout our life. Confidence just ebbs and flows because we face so many new chapters and challenges. At the end of the day, we're not prepared to experience all of them at the time that our life wants us to experience them within. I've seen myself and others just become ill-confident when a sudden life change has happened. It doesn't need to be dramatic, can just be a shift in what was constant before. And suddenly what they thought they knew no longer applies. So we tend to lack confidence because of that scenario. Again, it's totally fine for this to happen, and it's fine for the reaction to be that, oh, I'm no longer as confident as I used to be. Overall, I think it's really awesome that if you are here because you want to feel more confident, go you, and that's a wonderful thing. I think also just recognizing that you want to feel more confident and that you at times have not been feeling like yourself for a day or a few days, and you really want to work on feeling better, getting yourself back to that energizing feeling. I think it's great that you are working on yourself. Before we go into the tips, what I want to say about confidence and why it is so important. I think confidence is really important because I feel like it is a driver for success. I believe that when you are confident and you believe in yourself and you believe in your abilities to do great things, to do just about anything, it doesn't have to be in a spectacular way, it can just be I can do it. I have a can-do attitude. You're able to see opportunities when they present themselves. You're able to take them on with a smile, or you're able to take it on with grit and resilience. And confidence can really lead you down a path where the whole world opens up for you. Confidence really allows you to kick down the doors, whether they're open or shut, fires you up to take more control of your life and to just not wait for things to happen to you. Confidence can absolutely be worked on when we start to really learn about ourselves. If you're lacking in confidence, it probably is not you lacking confidence from every part of your life. It's probably coming from a singular part or maybe 1 or 2 parts of your life. When you find the source, then you're really able to use all of these tools and tips in a very structured, very pointed way. So this can take some time. So journal, use some self-reflection worksheets, talk to a therapist, talk to your parents, talk to your friends, use any form of help that you feel like makes you feel safe and is a great way of just constructing an idea of why you might be feeling ill-confident. Not a lot of us are able to do this. It's hard to reflect. So I also want to throw in that meditating is also a really good way of really figuring out what is going on within the inside. So we want to figure out and do the work from the inside out. Try all these different outlets. The first method might not work for you. I know that for me, journaling is a very hard habit for me to grasp onto, but meditating really helps me understand the inner workings of my mind and figure out where there's gaps and where I feel like I'm sinking in a way. Make sure that you celebrate the small wins. Let's say that your lack of confidence is coming out of work. You feel like you're kind of behind, maybe you have imposter syndrome, you have to take like a technical exam for work, and you want to use that as a way to show everyone and yourself that you're able to do it. If that is going to help you feel more confident, definitely work towards that goal, but make sure that you are celebrating all the small goals that get you there also. Let's say you have to study 3 or 4 hours a week. Make sure that you are congratulating yourself for getting yourself through that first, second, third, fourth, whatever you need to get to in order to get to that ultimate goal. You want to really just practice congratulating yourself and celebrating your wins, because honestly, it takes a lot to get ourselves to even do step 1. They say that when it comes to the gym, the hardest part about going into the gym is opening the door. It's not about being able to suddenly lift 15 pounds versus 2 pounds. And it's not about being able to run the fastest mile on the treadmill. It's really about getting yourself to do the damn thing. And that is just doing step 1. Practice congratulating yourself over and over again. And even for making your bed in the morning, taking your vitamins, booking an appointment with the therapist. If you also need to like physically cross these things off to make yourself feel better, like what I do that. If you need a physical pen to paper, and the only way for you to actually write down your goals for the day is by getting a cute notebook. Go out, get the notebook, spend $15 on it, get a cute pen that makes you feel like you have the world in your hand. I like to use this app called Todoist. I will link it down below. I basically just write out on my iPad the tasks I have to do. Every time I complete something, I just check it off, and it has this cute like popping sound for each time I complete something, and then it gives me a notification like, hurrah, you just did 3 tasks. It also gamifies it in a way where it says you completed the most tasks this day. So it just feels good, and it helps me feel like I am continuing to celebrate myself. I definitely recommend finding a resource that will help you not only identify what your small goals are, but it helps you further celebrate all of these small achievements. I want to set up boundaries to where we're only limiting all the negative talk by the amount that we are comfortable with hearing. This can be negativity from ourselves, from our friends, from our family, and then through the music, podcast, and shows that we listen to. If I am watching Crown, sometimes it is kind of gloomy. I don't know why, but I will just not feel as like energetic about myself or just the day. I'm like, oh my God, that's so dark. That's so sad. Now I feel dark and sad, and I just feel like the energy is being transferred onto me. So I notice myself having to take breaks from it. So I limit that, and I layer it with like rom-coms. Forgetting Sarah Marshall is so funny. Nathan for You, that is also such a hilarious show. It's very important to make sure that you're aware of where your sources of negativity are coming from if they're not just internal. Ways that we can further mitigate those external negative noises is by making sure that we're able to combat it with enough positive sources of happy thoughts and happy positive affirmations towards ourselves. Positive self-reinforcement can honestly go such a long way. This is something that I typically practice when I'm in yoga, but I recently started translating that into my runs. I'm part of the Venice Run Club. I think you guys know that already. And so there are weeks when I am like struggling. And as you guys also know, I work with Olympians, and they are just like powerhouses. They're able to shoot for the stars, and they push themselves so hard. And they're just a normal person just like you and I. And so I tell myself in Run Club, like, you are an Olympian. You are going to get first place. You are the fastest runner here. You are going to break the record at the Run Club, and you are going to blow everyone away. And of course, I'm not going to do any of that because I'm still running like a 9.3 mile pace. I notice like my body physically reacts to it in a positive way. Suddenly my strides are not starting to feel exhausting. I'm able to really just focus in on the run, and I'm not focusing on how sore my body is or if I'm cramping or the fact that I just want to stop. I'm able to literally cancel out all that negative emotions and feeling just for that moment and just shoot for the end, for that goal in mind. And so I want all of you to really practice just saying positive things to yourself. If you want to start your day off with positive words of affirmation, like do that. If you want to do that throughout the day also, go ahead and do that too. Like whatever form gets you to make it into a habit, make sure you're doing it. And then also with podcasts too, I want to share that podcasts, it's the same thing in my opinion as like listening or watching a TV show. Based off the genre, it can really affect you. For me, I love listening to self-care podcasts. I love knowing more about myself. I love knowing more about like the inner workings about myself. And I love learning about that in all like a positive manner. I won't listen to like NPR even though I should. I don't listen to like true crime podcast either. I find that when I do listen to those podcasts that are just like on the lighter side of things, and then they talk about learning about yourself in a beautiful way, in a very positive light, it's super enlightening to me. And I feel like just skipping on my hot girl walks, and I feel like I'm able to really soak in the sun, and I'm able to have my energy vibrate off of others who are just walking around me and just enjoying the day. I did not touch on music, but I will right now. Clean up your music library. If you have a lot of like slow, chill music that isn't so upbeat, throw in a bunch of upbeat songs here and there. Like, don't change your whole genre if it's really not you. But with myself, I used to listen to a lot of 2 Feet, very mellow Odessa, and Billie Eilish too. And all those kind of have like mysterious, dark-esque type of vibe to it. More mellow for sure. So I would feel very mellow, like so chill, but not like upbeat, not like energetic. And I started replacing it like mood boosting music, and I would just find random playlists off Spotify. Even Spotify actually has like a spring reset playlist, which is amazing. I see it helping with my mood so much. When I'm actually listening to a lot of this music, I'm thinking of like the Apple commercials where people are just like dancing with their nano iPods. I'm from that generation of iPod users. Getting out of your comfort zone doesn't necessarily mean going to a bar, singing karaoke, and being on stage in front of everyone. I just shared with you guys my deepest, darkest fears. But getting out of your comfort zone doesn't mean doing something extreme or something where you know you're just gonna like shit your pants unless like you really want to do it. Getting out of your comfort zone is like one of the most beneficial ways to start evolving your confidence. As I mentioned in the beginning, a lot of us tend to lack confidence when something suddenly changes in our life, and we're so used to the constant that the change happens in a way where we were just not prepared for it. To be proactive about that and to just be able to approach change in a better way is by actually going out of your comfort zone. It's also a great way of controlling how you react and how much change is actually going to be coming into your life, because at that point you're just like actually stepping into change. Examples of getting out of your comfort zone can come in the form of going to a workout class by yourself instead of always going with a friend. If you're already going with a friend too, you definitely know how to walk in, what weights you need to take off the weight rack, where the towels are, and how to stand up there and really give it your all. Other examples are going to the movies by yourself, going on a solo hike, taking yourself out on a date, or maybe going shopping by yourself. Like, these are all very small and practical things we can all do. In our head, we will inflate how insane all these things will be. You will start to catastrophize and think of all the scenarios in which things will go wrong. But in actuality, there's like a 0.1% of them actually happening. Try it out, get out of your zone of comfort and into an area where you feel like you can really grow. Once you start building up that habit of getting out of your comfort zone, it's just going to be second nature to you. You're suddenly going to see a drastic change in your energy, in how you see yourself, how you perceive yourself, and how confident you feel in like the actions that you take. Make sure you take yourself out of your comfort zone every once in a while. Also, congratulate yourself for doing that thing. Like, let's not forget the tip about congratulating ourselves and celebrating ourselves for all the small wins that we have done. Now that we've done a lot of inside work and we've acknowledged what's going on, what are the sources that are making us uncomfortable with ourselves, let's start to focus on the outside, because the outside can honestly help with motivating the inside to feel better. Like I mentioned, I did my eyebrows because they definitely make me feel like I can look straight into the camera, talk to you, and share with you all my thoughts when it comes to this topic. Having a self-care routine, it doesn't necessarily need to be physical. It could be a routine where you are making your coffee in the morning or your matcha, you're taking your vitamins, and then you are reading a book. By setting yourself up in that routine, you're setting yourself up for success. Having the self-care routine is an extra layer that is going to do wonders for you. A lot of self-care routines can either be physical or mental, but really at the end of the day, it's doing a routine that has you choosing you before anyone or anything else. A routine can look like anything. My routine is having my matcha in the morning, taking my vitamins, and that's it. It doesn't need to be a 5 or 10 step routine. It could be 1 to 2 things. It's just something that you do habitually, and you do it almost every day because you know that it makes you feel like you can check something off on the box because you chose something for yourself. Also, another part of my self-care routine that I don't really do every day, but I have started to incorporate it more because I realize how good it makes me feel, is doing my makeup, putting on a cute outfit. When I was in school, especially in college, and I would have to go to school or to my internship or to the library or to a coffee shop, I always looked my best. I did my makeup, I did my hair, and I wore a cute outfit. It wasn't to make anyone else think differently of me. I did it because putting on my outfit and doing my hair and my makeup really made me feel like I could sit in the front of the classroom and I could raise my hand and I can speak proudly about what I was going to share. Or it allowed me to just walk into the library and be like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I feel confident. It made me think in my mind like I could do anything. Now that I work from home constantly, and I have been for the past 4 years, I do defer to just wearing what I wore going to sleep for my work day. It's gotten to the point where I just feel like it's on top of just like watching something or listening to something that is kind of like dull and like sad and not upbeat. It just makes me then feel like, okay, my outfit is dull and not upbeat, so I am really truly going to feel dull and upbeat. And I really want to switch that up. I go into my office every so often, and I feel like that really makes me, of course, like do that whole routine. So I'm hoping I will actually do like much more of that throughout the week. Having a self-care routine really goes down to finding things that really make you feel good. Even though they might be physical or not, at the end of the day, they should just be activities that make you feel proud about who you are. Just take note and take inventory of all the things that you do that do boost your mood. Identify what doesn't so that you can remove or mitigate them as best as possible, and you're then making room for more of those positive habits that are going to just reinforce your self-esteem, how positive your outlook on yourself is, and how positive you feel towards your life and yourself and your sense of confidence. Now that is it for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will talk to you later. Bye.